Welcome to Board Game Boards, the show where we give you the how-to and review of today's top games.
I'm Lee.
And I'm Tom, and today we're looking at...
Betrayal at the House on the Hill. Betrayal at House on the Hill is a game where 3 to 6 players must explore a haunted mansion filled with evil.
But don't let your guard down! At any given point throughout the night, one of your fellow players may become possessed and try to kill you all.
But we can't begin to survive the night without learning.
Betrayal is a cooperative and individual ruled game, so you're going to find a ton of game components with this one.
You'll find explorer figures with corresponding 2-sided character cards, plastic clips to keep track of stats, and special 6-sided dice that will be used constantly throughout the game.
For board components, you'll have room tiles, the starting entrance, foyer, grand staircase tile, and 3 types of cards: Omen, Item, and Event.
All of this, and we haven't even gotten to the assorted tokens. I feel like we've been talking for hours.
It's literally only been a minute or so, but there are a lot of pieces which can seem overwhelming to some players.
Why, God? Why?
Because you need them. The variety of tokens are large monster tokens to represent the evil creature that one player will undoubtedly become, small monster tokens that act as minions with corresponding colors, and an assortment of unique tokens to show events, items, and trait rolls.
So if you thought you were gonna sit down and play a casual game with some friends, forget it. With Betrayal, you're in it for the long haul.
Which isn't to say it's a bad thing. Just be prepared that if you whip it out and want to play with some friends, that they might not be ready for the time commitment.
Whip it.
Whip it good?
The house is set up by placing the main, upper, and basement floors on separate parts of the table.
The main and upper floors are immediately connected by the staircase, whereas the basement remains unconnected until certain room tiles, events, or other actions create a connection.
Next, shuffle all the room cards face down and place them on the table.
These will be used when exploring. Now make sure this side is facing up to indicate which levels they can be played on.
Once the board has been set up, take the Trader's Tome and Secrets to Survival and throw it off to the side until needed later. Once you've picked your character, place the black markers on the starting number for the traits, and place your character piece in the entrance.
Picking characters is important because each one has a specific set of traits that can help them and the party survive this terrible mansion.
Compare both sides of the character cards, because they both have strengths and weaknesses based on the 4 traits: might, speed, knowledge, and sanity.
Now, you want to create a really balanced team, and to do that you need to understand the traits.
So every player picks their character, you set the haunt tracker to 0, shuffle the card decks, and prepare for the worst.
Now, the game consists of 2 phases, the exploration phase and the haunt phase, which happens for each player each turn.
Zoinks! Like, who's gonna get possessed first?
Slow your roll. We haven't even began to explore the mansion yet.
Ruh-roh! No right, home!
Now do Velma.
Using the speed of the character you've chosen, each turn consists of a player exploring the mansion by turning over room tiles to reveal a new room they are entering.
A player can move up to the amount shown in their speed category. If a player moves through a room to a blank space, they draw 1 tile from the pile that matches the current floor they are on.
That tile is then placed with a door connecting to another door from an adjacent room. If there is text stating something to do, or an omen, item, or event icon on the tile, movement ends and you resolve the action. If you're passing through a room that has one of these symbols but has already been activated, just keep moving. Nothing to see here.
And there are a variety of outcomes associated with each symbol, either helping you slightly or potentially really hurting you and possibly the party.
When flipping over a room card with a symbol, draw from the matching deck and follow the instructions.
The creators did a nice job of adding in some creepy story elements to create more of an environment for the players,
as well as multiple outcomes on many cards to keep it nice, fresh, and unpredictable. Event cards often have the player rolling against one of their skills to avoid bad stuff and occasionally to gain points to their stats.
Item cards are, well, items. These can be used, dropped, or traded with other players. These can really come in handy, so find as many as you can.
Omen cards generally provide items, but come at a price. Like trying to trap your soul and make you evil.
After drawing an Omen card, that player must roll 6 dice. And if the number is lower than the number of Omen cards drawn, then the haunt begins.
The number of omens is tracked on this nifty little tracker. But what happens if the roll is higher?
Oh, then nothing happens. You continue exploring with your friends.
I never got nobody!
Players continue their turns exploring every nook and cranny of this haunted mansion, doing what they can to survive the traps and ghostly events they encounter.
And sooner or later, whether you like it or not, one of your friends is going to become a possessed, cold-blooded killer looking to take you all out one by one. And when that happens, be ready for a scramble to survive.
Now the haunts follow their own table that provides a random possession every time based on the room you were in and the omen that was found.
And with the different scenarios, you don't know if you're getting demons or zombies or werewolves.
Oh my!
Or a plethora of other scary monsters and scenarios.
Once the haunt phase has begun, reference the special tables in the Traitor's Tome to see who will become the traitor.
The person who activates the haunt doesn't always become the traitor.
And this could severely change the game if a player who had helpful items or better traits becomes the traitor.
It's always the one you least expect. Once the traitor has been determined, they take the Traitor's Tome and leave the room,
giving the remaining survivors the chance to learn what evil lies in store and how they can defeat it. Once the players and traitor understand the scenario, they meet back at the table and continue play.
From here on out, it's pretty similar to the exploration phase, except players can attack the traitor and vice versa.
And the traitor takes their turn after all the players have taken their turns.
And occasionally there's new rules added for the haunt scenario.
So it's actually nothing like the normal experience.
No one likes to know it all! Attacking consists of rolling the unique 3-numbered dice, totaling them, and comparing the result against the defender. Higher number, the attacker deals the difference in damage. The amount of dice you roll is dictated by the number of the skill you are using.
If the number is lower, no damage is dealt and play continues.
The damage dealt goes to the traits being used in the attacks.
Attacking uses physical or mental traits based on the scenario, items, or other factors from the haunt.
And while each playthrough can be different and change the rules of the damage, the overall constant is death to all survivors.
A player can disperse damage throughout any skill as long as it's the same type of attack. Physical damage will affect might and speed. Mental damage affects knowledge and sanity.
Anytime a player reaches the lowest mark on their character tile, that player dies. However, certain haunts might bring them back as a zombie or other evil creatures.
With the survivors and the traitor each having their own objective based on the haunt scenario, it's up to them to find a way to win.
It can feel like you started a new game at this point, because you kinda do. It can go on for an hour or more, or end in 5 minutes based on the players and the scenario.
The winner is decided by who completes their objective based on their respective scenarios first.
Which can also vary game to game. Man, there are a lot of things to take into consideration with this one.
If only we had a closing segment where we could talk about our pros and cons. This has been one of the most diverse and unique games we've played, always giving a different outcome and level of intensity based on the haunt. Be that as it may, Betrayal can be a bit overwhelming for the basic gamer and those not ready to sit down for such an intricate game. So keep that in mind when you pull this bad boy off the shelf.
The creators do a great job blending RPG elements, storytelling, and random encounters in this game. Sprinkle in the fact that someone gets to take form of a monster, and it's even more of a plus. Now, the extra pieces, extra haunt rules, and overall layout of the game can become confusing, but like any game, play it more and you'll remember it. But hey, what do we know? Go down to your local game shop and try it for yourself.
Well, that about wraps it up for another episode of Board Game Game Boards.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Let us know what other games you'd like us to review, and we will definitely maybe get around to playing them.
This is why you don't get lines! If an exploding kitten card is drawn, then you are out of the game unless you have a diffuse card.
Discard the diffuse card and place the exploding kitten card back into the deck wherever you'd like to.
You could even secretly put it back on top to be positively evil.